How can you not like the holidays? It is the best time of year. But for anxious kids, there's a lot of things that tend to trigger them and push them over the edge. And that can ruin it not only for them, but for everybody else as well. So how do you help your anxious kids and enjoy the holidays? Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Most people love the holidays. I totally love the holidays. Is this you? Do you do your Santa happy dance when Christmas comes around? I get that because I am the same way. I mean, Thanksgiving is Christmas Eve at my house. It's time to decorate. This is what my house would look like if I weren't so lazy. But this is probably a little bit more their speed. And so how do you go from your speed to their speed without ruining Christmas or the holidays for everybody and making everybody happy? There are typically 4 areas that I see, at least with my anxious kids, that tend to ruin the holidays. I'm going to break them down. We're going to talk about how to prevent that from happening. Overplanning, number 1, the biggest problem. I love Christmas, and so I'd get out my calendar and I would plan something to do practically every day. Do you want to go to that cookie party? It's cookies, gift swaps, Santa. I think my cousin's cousin is having a party. Get together. Ooh, Christmas festival. Santa. Okay, so I think there are about 5 Christmas activities going on in our neighborhood. Super close. Kids can't handle going to all these events. They can't handle being overscheduled. They might like the concept, but when you get them there, event after event after event, they get overtired, they get overstimulated, and they get overwhelmed. And so having too much on your Christmas or holiday dance card is not a good idea. The second problem that I see often during the holidays is too much sugar. Now, 2 out of my 3 kids can eat enough sugar to supply a candy factory, and they're totally fine. But one child, who I will not mention, turns into Blair from The Exorcist when he eats sugar. Oops, I just ruined it because I only have one boy. You have to know your kids. So if sugar increases their anxiety, which it does for some kids, you might want to be careful about what you put in their stockings and in their presents during Christmas. It's so bad that my daughters will watch his sugar intake and warn me. And it's so bad that he will tell me to stop giving him sugar as well. That's pretty bad. I've gotten smart. I don't put candy anymore in their stockings because I don't really want to meet the devil Christmas morning. The third problem with Christmas are your relatives. Sorry, it's true. There's a lot of get-togethers. There's get-togethers with relatives that really don't know your kids. And there's get-togethers with relatives and friends who really don't get anxiety. And so your anxious child is bombarded with relatives wanting to hug them. Give me a hug! Wanting to talk to them. Sorry, I know my breath is bad. Wanting to have them perform. Heard you play flute. Wanting to know all about them. Can you sing that song? Wanting them to participate. Where are you going? Give me a kiss. If your child is not given a reprieve from this craziness called your family, they're going to implode. Maybe not at the party, maybe not that day, but it's going to build up and they're going to have had enough. So you can do some things to help your child and prevent the imploding from happening. Rule number 1, don't force kids to hug people they don't want to hug. Give her a hug. Rule number 2, don't force kids to hug people they don't want to hug. I know you don't like her breath, but go give her a hug. It's simple. Respect their space. Not everybody wants to hug. Your kids are not trained monkeys. They don't want to perform. Don't be that parent that's going to force them to perform and put them on the spot during family get-togethers. Go get your flute. You know how sometimes you want an escape plan from a family get-together? Don't be rude to your Aunt Mildred. So does your anxious kids. So you're probably not going to be able to escape, but they can. So bring them something like a book or an iPad or something that they can do like coloring, that they can find a quiet space and a quiet room, and maybe they can decompress for a little while, especially if it's a really long family gathering. Don't make excuses for your kids' behavior. It's not their fault, and you shouldn't have to explain that to anybody else in your family. Sometimes we force our kids to do things because we're uncomfortable and we don't want to look bad in front of other people. But that's not our child's problem, that's our problem, and we don't have to be that way. So you don't have to explain your kid's behavior to other people, and you don't have to change your child to fit the mold of what other people are expecting during the holidays. Frankly, I'm an introvert and I would love to spend Christmas in my pajamas. Final thing that can kind of ruin the holidays is the letdown. And we all have that post-holiday sadness and depression. You're so excited, there's so much buildup, and then boom, all the presents are away from the tree and the holidays are over and you still have another week off with your kids. Most kids, and even parents, are gonna feel like, it's kind of sad. But anxious kids don't handle those letdowns as well as other kids. So I always do a couple of things. One, I hide a couple of presents for after Christmas, just for fun. And I make a scavenger hunt. And so it's a fun activity that we can do after Christmas. And it's something to ease them into a regular routine. Two, have some activities planned after Christmas for after Christmas break. Yeah, they have had a lot of excitement, but that letdown, that big transition from doing a lot to doing a little is a big jump. So plan a hiking trip or plan an outing. We always plan something like a festival of lights after Christmas so they have something to look forward to. It's not about being spoiled. It's about helping them transition to a regular routine from a chaotic, busy holiday routine. And just like the kid who doesn't want to take a bath, but then once he's in the bath, he has a hard time getting out of it, anxious kids may have a hard time dealing with the chaos and pace of Christmas or the holidays, but then when it's done, they have a hard time transitioning back. So I hope between cutting off maybe some of the sugar for your exorcist-like kids, don't force hug relatives, keeping your schedule a little bit more reasonable, and planning some things to transition back to the regular schedule will make your holidays a little bit more exciting. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you're liking my videos, please don't forget before you leave to hit the thumbs up and show your appreciation. Don't forget to subscribe because I have new videos that come out every Thursday. And if you don't get enough of me, you can go listen to my podcast, the AT Parenting Survival Podcast. I'll leave a link below. Have a great holiday.